as I said in the example of the 1 megawatt wind turbine that can provide power for 600 homes, one micronuclear power plant will provide enough power for 20,000 homes. Nuclear fuel and nuclear reactions, based off of the laws of nature, is a process that is absolutely stable. And having a micronuclear power plant will also be able to provide enough power for our industrial complex. The areas in which we are going to zone off for factories, for manufacturing, for car manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, those type of industries, companies cannot invest if they don't have access to a good, stable source of power. When we look at research and development, researching in nuclear technology or even fusion technology, which is the ultimate goal, and I think our nuclear physicists, who will be mandated by our government to be able to try to figure out fusion technology, participate on fusion. Fusion is the ultimate in the sense that there is no radioactive waste whatsoever, and it uses only water in order for in order to fuel the process. That is the ultimate. But in order to do nuclear fusion research, once again, you need a large, stable source of power. So that is where we need to look at micronuclear technology for our nation. Now, how big are these micronuclear power plants? They're very small. They can literally fit in the size of a room and are self-contained. And once again, once this fuel is spent, which gives you about 10 years of fuel for each plant, then you just swap it out for a new one. That simple. We at the IAAC propose to you African American citizens out there that for power itself, especially with regards to nuclear technology, many of us feel that because of the national security interest of power, that the government should actually run the nuclear power facilities itself. In my experience of the United States military, some of the best nuclear engineers that I've ever seen are personnel of the United States Navy. There are many nuclear aircraft carriers, nuclear missile cruisers, submarines, and we've had no accidents whatsoever. So having our Navy or having our government or nuclear government program, one, it will be able to provide a stable source of individuals that are dedicated towards providing the power that is necessary for the nation's development. We don't want to be a country that is at the heels of capitalistic, a greedy corporation that wants to tell us how much we need to pay for power, of which is happening to us today. We think that it behooves us in our nation's development that by having the government run the nuclear power program, having government individuals think of it as a military organization that is involved in the implementation and the running of those nuclear power plants, that it's going to be a tremendous benefit towards the nation's development. Power can be done cheaply. Since we're not doing this for money, we're doing this to provide an environment so that stable power is there. That means the cost of operating in our country comes down tremendously for many corporations. The cost of power to the residents is at a very competitive rate. So it's easy, so people are not worrying about spending $200-300 a month for a bill. They are at a level on which the government is providing power at a very cheap cost itself. So nuclear technology is something that we as a nation must master. We must operate 100% safely, and And we must be able to design future plants and participate in the creation of fusion technology. Fusion happens, then the rest of the world will never have to worry about oil, gas, etc. Now, many of the things that I've discussed so far with regards to energy policy has nothing to do with utilizing carbon-based fuels. Coal, of course, is very difficult to burn cleanly. As we well know, with oil, that also does not burn cleanly. And that is something that we as African Americans, I don't think that we want to go that route. We love the environment. We want to do our part in protecting the environment. And this is why this energy policy is so vital. Now, for powering or for running the cars, running the trucks and all of that in our nation, initially, of course, we're going to use fossil-based type of cars and trucks because that is what is available and that is what is chiefly done right now. When we clear the land, when we build our airport, our port, etc. But we would enjoin the African American people to look at this one particular aspect, and that is, let us look at the pros and cons of becoming a hydrogen-based economy. And when we talk about a hydrogen-based economy, that is the utilization of hydrogen fuel cells that can be used in cars to then power an electric motor, which then propels the car to wherever it needs to go. As a new nation, we must be masters of battery technology and the creation of new battery technologies. Hydrogen fuel cells are critical and are very efficient that are used in the space shuttle as we speak today in creating power, and the only byproduct is H2O, water. Not a single drop of carbon is being used. Now, in the process of generating hydrogen, from a national security issue, we have the nuclear power plants, micronuclear power plants. In our industrial sector, the nuclear power plants then are used to be able to provide the power to split water and get the hydrogen that we need. Hydrogen-based production needs electricity, and if you're using a coal-based plant or an oil-based plant, then that's defeating the purpose. So by using nuclear technology to produce hydrogen, then we really are in the game. And the distribution network of hydrogen in this nation can be done right from the start. The reason why America cannot build a hydrogen-based economy is because we already have a transportation system that is designed based off of fossil fuels. All of the trucks that are designed to carry fuel, they carry hydrogen. They're not the right type of trucks. There are no hydrogen pumps, no hydrogen storage at particular gas stations right now. So there's massive investment made in America, and Exxon and Chevron and all of these other oil companies. They are not going to support a hydrogen-based economy after all of the money that they have spent and all of the money that they are continuing to make based off of the fossil-based cars and trucks that we use. But since we're not going to be beholden to Exxon and Mobil and Shell, since this is a nation created by us and for our future generations, we can build ourselves that hydrogen-based economy and build the hydrogen infrastructure